Hello and welcome to my channel. You are the one. And today and all this week we are talking about revision, and on today's video we are doing another Neville Says where I take a quote from the Complete Reader and I share my interpretation of it and how you can apply it to your life. And today's one is on revision, which Neville does talk a lot about, and it's a good one. I think you're going to like it, so stick around. My name is Hedley Derenzie. I'm a qualified life coach, I'm an author, and I'm super passionate about the amazing teachings of the law of assumption as originally taught by the great American mystic Neville Goddard. It is the stories that create our life, so if you want to change any part of your life, then you have to start by changing the story first. I mean, you don't have to, but I would recommend that you do it that way. And if you want to create the most amazing life, then it really does help to know how to tell the most amazing stories, and that's where these teachings can really help, and that is why I am here. I want to help you to tell the most amazing stories so that you can experience the most amazing reality. If you would like support with this, I'm available for personal coaching, online coaching. I also have a free 21 days Set Yourself Up with the Ultimate Self-Concept course, and I am on Instagram. All of those details you'll find in the box below this video or at my website, youaretheone.com.au. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, today we're doing revision. This week is all about revision, because I love revision and I want everyone to love it as much as I do. And I think the key, and I know I've spoken about this before, the key for me was when I realized revision is not reliving your past. It is not reliving your past. You've already lived it. You've done it. In fact, you've lived that past experience that many times because you played it out over and over in your memory. We're done. We don't need to go over it again. We don't need to relive it. However, if you haven't revised it, that memory, or at least the state of consciousness that is connected to that memory, is still active. So revision will deactivate all of those unfavorable states of consciousness that are linked to those unfavorable events and memories that we have still running. And that clears the path. That sets up the runway for you to have what you want and for your manifestations to just land easily. We love a good landing and we want our manifestations to come in. It's all about effortlessness and ease and simplicity, and revision actually creates that. So I know some of you out there have kind of bypassed the whole revision thing, and that's cool. If it's working for you, if you don't need it and you're manifesting everything that you want and it's coming in easily and it's landing like one of those beautiful A380s or whatever the latest one is now, or even like a beautiful private jet, if that's how your manifestations are flowing into your life, then keep that going and just bypass this video. However, if you're experiencing some irritation, some frustration, some wondering why things aren't working, or it feels hard, or it feels like you've got to put this effort in, then revision will help clear the path for a smoother experience. I promise you, I'm speaking from personal experience. Revision is a game changer. And today's quote is from my favorite book in the world, The Complete Reader, in particular, The Law and the Promise, which is one of my favorite Neville books. I keep saying that, everything's like my favorite, but everything is my favorite. So this is my favorite. And today's quote, I'm just getting into it because I think I've been rambling for a few minutes already. There is no inevitable permanence in anything. Both past and present continue to exist only because they are sustained by imagining on some level or other. And a radical transformation of life is always possible by man revising the undesirable part of it. Awesome, as always. So there is no inevitable permanence in anything. Oh my God, that quote alone should just like blow your mind and free you up and get you all excited, because there is no permanence to anything. Nothing is set in stone. Even those past events that you have been playing out in your memory for years or decades or centuries or lifetimes. Nothing is set in stone. You can change the past because the past is just a concept of consciousness. It's not happening anywhere other than in your consciousness. If you're playing out an unfavorable memory, if you're telling an old story that was unpleasant, that consciousness is still active. And if you've been playing out that memory over and over and over, that state of consciousness is dominant, and then that is what is going to solidify and get reflected back in your present. And then that is going to create more of the same in your future. So if you want to create a new future, it's a really good idea to create new memories. I know, what a concept. Imagine you can create a new memory about something that has already happened. You're not lying to yourself. it's not real. It's real to the point that it's happening in your consciousness, and consciousness is the one and only reality. What you're doing is you're embedding a story that is no longer happening. It's no longer in your 3D. It is only alive in consciousness. And if it's unfavorable and you're playing it out and you're going back and you're remembering and you're thinking, that's the way it is, that's set in stone. You're just going to create more of the same. Maybe not the exact same event, but you will create the same quality of events that mirror that state of consciousness that is attached to that memory or that event that happened in your 3D. Remember, we're not recreating the 3D. We're not revising the 3D. That's done. That's old. That's dead. What we're doing is revising the memory of what happened in the 3D, because that's still alive. That's still active in your consciousness, and we want to deactivate that and create a new memory and a new state of consciousness that then sets up new assumptions, that then sets up a whole new present, that then creates the kind of canvas for a whole new future. And if you want a complete transformation of your life, Neville is saying that you can do that. You can absolutely do that with revision, simply by revising the unfavorable memories of your past. They're only existing in your consciousness right now. Think of something that happened to you a long time ago that was unfavorable. Bang, I'm sure you can get it right now. I know I can. It was like a silly breakup, not a silly one, an awful one. I've had enough of them. And what you do is you end up replaying that breakup, and then you tell somebody about that breakup, and this is how awful it was, and blah, 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 and they did this to me and that to me. And you're just keeping alive a state of consciousness that is only going to make you feel shitty. And then that's what's going to get pushed out and reflected back in your reality. Maybe not in that exact breakup, because that's already happened, but just you wait. Your reality is phenomenal at being able to reflect back what you're doing in consciousness in the most amazing and magical ways. And it'll reflect back some crappy situation that is a mirror to the consciousness that you're holding now, based on something that happened 10 years ago that is like unfavorable. I just love revision, because once I really discovered the power of it, it felt like it was kind of like clearing the way for my manifestations to come in. And I had that experience with my house. I was selling my house. I know I've spoken about this before. It wasn't selling. I didn't understand why. So I asked myself the question, do I have a negative story about selling? And bang, the memory came up of when we sold our childhood house, and I was like traumatized by it. So I revised it so that we stayed together as a family, and we moved into this amazing new house in this new suburb. And I just created this storyline around this new memory. And now that's what happened. That's what happened. And that's a great story, and it feels really good. Now, I'm not telling anyone about that. So it's not like I'm lying or I'm bending. I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this so I can then go and tell people this is what happened. I'm just doing it for me. And if somebody asks me about what happened, I'll actually say to them, look, I've revised that story. So it's not something that I can actually share, because I've revised it and I'm on a new timeline. Like, I'll come up with a response that enables me not to tell the facts of what happened in my past. They're irrelevant. I don't want to get into that story. I don't want to activate it in my subconscious. I'll just kind of deflect the conversation and move on to something else. So it's not like you're lying. You're literally just doing it for yourself. And of course, you're not lying, because consciousness is the one and only reality. Reality is just a reflection of consciousness. It's the outpicturing of the work that we're doing in consciousness. Your past is only alive because you continue to play it out in your memory, or you continue to talk about it. That doesn't mean it's set in stone. It's only set in stone if you continue to keep it set in stone, meaning you keep the memory alive and active. And so one of the things that I've done is I've gone back and I've revised every single ending to every relationship that I've had. I'm going to share a little story here. This is just a recent revision that I've done. Went to get my coffee. So I've just moved, as you know, and I've gone to this new cafe. And there's this new barista there who I felt automatically off the bat didn't like me. And then I realized, oh, hang on a second. No, he's me pushed out. So he's reflecting back what I'm doing. So I don't like him. So then I go, why wouldn't I like this barista when I don't know anything about him? And then I went back and realized that I had some unfavorable past with a couple of baristas. I dated a couple of baristas back in my early 30s. And they ended unfavorable. They were quite unfavorable experiences. And so I went, oh my God, that's why. Like, I've got a story running about male baristas. It was so weird. Anyway, I went back and I revised all of those stories. So I have since revised that story. Like, literally, I just did this the other day, because I was like, oh, hang on a second, I don't want to carry this on. And so I didn't even know that energy was still active, that memory was still active. And I went back and I asked myself, like, why would I not like this barista? And I was like, oh wow, I have a negative assumption about baristas based on my past experience. So I just revised those experiences with my past baristas that I dated, and bang, we're all good. Let's move on. Let's enjoy our coffee. Like, it's that simple and that good. Like, I do this in real time throughout the day when things pop up and I'm like, what's going on there? Is there a story running? Do I have a negative assumption about this? Oh yeah, wow. Oh, look at that. I do. Quick revise it. Bang, done. New memory. Move on. Super simple. Super simple. Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is permanent. You get to decide. But if you have an unfavorable past, if there are things in your past that are unfavorable, I really recommend you revising them, because that clears the path to go and have beautiful relationships and now and then, you know, enjoy your coffees in the morning if that's your thing. I know that's so random, but anyway. What else have we got here? A radical transformation of life is always possible by revising the undesirable parts of it. Neville says it all. There's not much more to say to that. It's absolutely true. So that's all I wanted to share. I hope you found that useful. Please remember, you are the powerful creators of your reality. You are the superstar of your show. You are the producer, the writer, the director, and the actor in your movie. What you assume to be true will be so. So assume the best for you. Assume the best for everyone in your movie too, and you will have an amazing life. And this is my wish, my vision, and my prayer for you. Thank you for listening, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.